Hello and thanks for being with us. Lots to get to today. I'm going to tell you what you can learn from Rosie O'Donnell's heart attack. There are warning signs that she, like millions of women, overlooked.
Wear your shoes. Put your shoes back on, please. You know, go help your sister. We're going in 3 minutes. Oh my God, what am I doing? I forgot to cut off the crust. Voila. Shoes on, potty if you need it. Honey, get your sister. Okay, get her shoes. Nobody move. I'm getting a dustpan.
Oh. Mom! I think you're having a heart attack.
Honey, do I look like the type of person who has a heart attack?
Well, that was a clip from the very funny short film called Just a Little Heart Attack, starring and directed by Elizabeth Banks, produced for the American Heart Association. It's part of their Go Red for Women campaign. And I have to tell you, it struck a chord because a lot of people paying attention to this issue, in part because Rosie O'Donnell's announcement that she, at age 50, suffered a nearly fatal heart attack just earlier this month. She posted a poem on her blog. That's how she let people know about it. It reads in part, my LAD, which means a left anterior descending artery on the heart, was 99% blocked. They call this type of heart attack the Widowmaker. I'm lucky to be here. Know the symptoms, ladies. Listen to the voice inside. The one we all so easily ignore. Call 911. And you wouldn't believe how many people don't call 911. Even Rosie didn't. She reprimanded herself for this, and she didn't visit the emergency room, really visit her cardiologist until the next day. Now, luckily for her, she's okay. But as you might guess, not all women are so lucky. We beat the drum on this issue a lot, and joining me to talk about it is Dr. Suzanne Steinbaum. She's a cardiologist at Lenox Hill Hospital in New York City, and has been involved with beating the drum on this issue for a long time as well. Thanks for joining us, Dr. Steinbaum. You know, one of the things Rosie O'Donnell talked about was that she missed the signs. And it seems that everyone generally knows the symptoms for a heart attack in men, but with women, it can be different. Well, how do you educate your patients about this?
Well, what I say is it's not necessarily that typical Hollywood heart attack of a man clutching his chest. In fact, in women, the signs are often more subtle. There could be shortness of breath, nausea, vomiting, back pain, jaw pain. And in fact, Rosie wasn't sure it was her heart because it wasn't in that location. What I always tell my women patients is if you are doing your daily activities and suddenly it becomes more difficult, suddenly you feel like you just can't do the same things, whether it's due to shortness of breath or even flu-like symptoms, then you must consider that it might be your heart.
So that's an important point. If you have some of these new symptoms, and in Rosie's case, she talked about the fact that she felt clammy, her skin felt clammy, she was nauseated, but if it comes on suddenly, it seems to be a red flag. How do you know, Dr. Steinbaum, when it's serious enough to call 911? Because a lot of people think that's a big step to simply make that phone call.
I think there is such thing as women's intuition, and really when I talk to all my patients, and like Rosie said, she had a feeling it was her heart. If you really have a sense that you cannot breathe, that the pain is getting worse, I'd rather you call and be wrong than not call and have a heart attack.
Let me show you, Dr. Steinbaum, how that exact issue played out in that short film. Take a look.
Okay. 9. Hi, sorry to bother you. I think I might be having a little heart attack. Nothing really, just some nausea, tightening of the jaw, dizziness, shortness of breath, muscle pain, achiness, this terrible pressure in my chest. Oh, really? They can be here in how long? 2 minutes. Can you make it 10?
She literally started that with, sorry to bother you, as she's calling 911.
Right.
It's that, you know, almost fear of embarrassment. But does that clip ring true? I mean, the American Heart Association, to your point, says only half of women say they would call 911 if they experience heart attack symptoms. But they also go on to say that more than 3/4 would call 911 if it was somebody else having a heart attack. Why is that?
It's amazing. As women, we tend to just put ourselves last. We don't want to put anyone out. We don't want to be wrong. We're afraid we're going to make people come take care of us, and it's actually not going to be our hearts. In fact, in one study, when the women were asked, why wouldn't you call 911, they said they would do the dishes in the sink first. You know, there are so many reasons why a woman might not call, but women tend to put themselves last. And like you say, they'll do it for someone else before they would do it for themselves.
I know, and you know, it's amazing because there's such, women typically are the healthcare drivers in families, but they sometimes forget about it for themselves. If you've called 911, what should you do next? Are there things you can be doing at home, even in those few minutes while you're waiting?
I think Rosie did exactly what every woman should know about. Take 2 aspirin, pop into your mouth, and chew them. Call 911, and if you're wrong, it doesn't matter because you might just save yourself. You might save your life.
Again, very important advice. And you take that aspirin so you can make your blood a little bit thinner. You chew it so it absorbs more quickly. Hopefully, people are listening, and this will make a difference. Dr. Steinbaum, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.